Perfect by Pink. Now this is a really cool song to get going if you're sort of quite new to guitar, and even if you've been playing for some time, this is still a really nice song to actually learn to add to your repertoire. The beginning of the song simply just plays through each chord once. So as she sings Made a Wrong Turn once or twice, just one strum of that, Dug My Way Out, E minor, Blood and Fire, C, Bad Decisions, back to G, That's Alright on the D, and then Welcome to My City Life is E minor and C. Now, what I need us to do is to first of all make sure your PDF file is printed out in front of you. And if you're new to guitar, let me take you through the chords first quickly. And if you already know the chords, just fast forward a bit through the video. Okay, we're going to focus now on your fretting hand. The fingers are numbered so you can see the chords nice and clearly. And we're going to start with the first chord, G. The diagram is on the PDF file as well. It's on the right hand side of the page. And G should look like this once you've got it going. It starts with finger 1, string number 5, counting from the bottom, 5th string from the bottom, first finger, 2nd fret. That's the first, that's the 2nd fret. Middle finger now comes in on the top string, the 6th string, 3rd fret, and ring finger goes right to the bottom. Now for those that know G, and I notice that some actually enjoy playing fingers 3 and 4, you can also play it like that. So if you beginner to it, I would suggest this, but if you really want to do that, quite acceptable as well. Next chord, D, starts with finger 1 on string number 3 from the bottom. Number 2 is right at the bottom, both 1 and 2 in the 2nd fret. Ring finger comes onto string number 2, 3rd fret, that's D. Next chord, E minor, just fingers 1 and 2. 1 is on the 5th, 2 is on the 4th, and then we finish with C. Finger number 1 on the 2nd string, 1st fret, 2nd finger, string 4, 2nd fret, finger number 3, the ring finger, 5th string, 3rd fret. Now I'm going to go through the chords one more time, and we're going to focus now on the strumming hand because we don't strum all the strings for all the chords. So you've got your pick in hand. I definitely like to encourage you to use a pick. And we're going to strum down from the 6th string, so your G chord should sound like this. When you go to D, you strum from the 4th. This is D. For E minor, you strum from the 6th again. And for the C chord, you strum from the 5th string. And we just need to put those chords together for one strum each, 4 chords in a row for the beginning of verse 1. I've also included a link to the YouTube channel where you can actually hear Pink sing the song as well. So try and play through with it, and you can actually hear her sing Made a Wrong Turn once or twice as she goes through the chords, etc., etc. Now on your PDF file, I'm going to zoom out a bit there, you'll notice towards the bottom are basic strumming pattern on the chord green C, strumming pattern on the chord red C. Now if you go back to G chords in place one more time, you'll notice that there's a whole lot of arrows going up and down on the basic strumming. And before we get going, I'd like us to notice that if there's a down arrow, I strum in the direction of that arrow. So as I say 1, I strum down. In fact, I'm going to zoom in a little more closer there. One more time. As I say 1, down strum. On the count of 2 is nothing, so I didn't strum. On the 3, I strum down again. And then between the 4 and the 1 is a plus. We call that plus an and. And the and is the up strum. So quick recap over here for those that are new to strumming. If there's an arrow under the numbers, the 1 or the 3 or the whatever number, it's always down strum. If there's an arrow under one of the ands, it's always an up strum. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So we're sort of programming your hand to get its rhythm like that. And it's sort of a hit and miss. In other words, you either strum the strings 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3, or you miss the string, so you're strumming it or you're missing it, but the hand's movement, you can see there, the hand doesn't stop moving. That's the trick to do it over here, to establish the rhythm with your strumming hand. Now at the end of the piece is 2 grey arrows as well. Pretend they're not there for now, so there are no grey arrows. We'll come back to that later. I want to strum through now G, that entire strumming pattern, which should sound like this. And if I were to count it, it would be something like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now I'd like you to try it through once with me, so we can play it together. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And once you've completed that, you change to D, so your new chord, just one more time. Onto D now, back to the strumming hand, and you're going to strum from the 4th string. If you accidentally strum the 5th or 6th, don't stop, just do your best to keep on 4 strings. Here's D, you want to play with? 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. It's as simple as that. Same for the E minor or 6. Play with 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and now we go to the C. Now you'll notice that sometimes the C is in green and sometimes it's in red. Now if it's the first line of the verse or the chorus, your C will suddenly sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. So the only real difference between the basic strumming pattern and the strumming pattern beneath it is that on the count of 2, there's an extra arrow. And that helps us develop the rhythm. It gives a bit of a variation. And it also lets us know we've finished singing the line, and it's indicating we're going to start again back to the G. Now I'm going to take us through slowly. I'm going to zoom out so we can see left and right hands nice and clearly. There's my chords, and are you ready? I sometimes play my G like that as well, so don't worry too much about that, as long as you're playing G. Okay, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and D. E minor. Here comes green C. We got that. One more time for luck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 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 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Now we mentioned the light grey arrows as well. If you include them, you got a very quick double flick, which is a down up flick, which is just before the next chord, which means that you have to change quite quick. So if I play through it again, the same 4 chords, and I include the grey arrows, we have something like this. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1, 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and green C. And you come back to the beginning. Now at the end, you'll notice there's also a red C. And that strumming pattern, changing to C, is simply going to go 1, 2, 3 and stop. So if you were to play the entire sort of sequence through, G, D, E minor, C with the green, G, D, E minor, C with the red, we'd have something like this. So watch for the changes, watch for the stops. The stop means silent, not let it ring. So this is wrong. It's ringing. We want to go and make it go quiet. And I normally just put the palm at the back. And you can see the palm silences the guitar quite nicely. Okay, let's do this. Got G chord, whole way through now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. I'm leaving out the grey for now. Here comes green C. Back to the beginning, G. red C. And I accidentally made a mistake there. I accidentally included the light grey down up. I don't know if you picked that up, I'm sure you did. The cool thing is as well, if you're playing the song, I don't want you to feel that you have to include the grey. If you want to leave it out to help you with the changes, it's quite acceptable. If you find yourself naturally including it because it feels better on the rhythm, that's also acceptable. And also, if you listen to any song, you'll notice that the rhythm isn't always exactly the same way the whole way through. So the purpose of these rhythm patterns is to give us the characteristic strumming pattern, the strumming pattern that makes the song sound the way it does. And if you add an extra little bit on, like something like this, and it sounds good to you, keep it, that's fine. But try and keep basic strumming pattern for most of the song with little subtle variations, and it will sound cool. And that will give you Perfect by Pink. Now, if you have any questions, please drop me a WhatsApp. Be nice to hear from you. If you're not doing, or if you're doing something and it's not sounding cool, maybe video yourself what you're doing, send me the video so I can comment on it. And otherwise, have an awesome week, and any requests, send them through. Take care.